It's bright and sunny today in France. Yesterday we had our first barbecue. I love fire, don't you? Today I thought we could talk about fire because it brings back a lot of good childhood memories of things I used to do and more recent memories too. Hello, I'm Rachel. Welcome back to Smile English Stories, where you can listen to English in lots of different contexts. If we sizzle your sausages too quickly or too slowly, you can change the speed in YouTube. If you are watching this video with children, please tell them that fires can be dangerous. When I was a child, we used to go to the Lake District in the north of England in the summer, and in the evening we used to make fires. We used to collect sticks in the forest, and we used to organize them by size, from the smallest, the little tiny twigs, to the biggest sticks or logs almost. And then we used to collect stones or rounded pebbles on the beach by the lake, and we used to make a circle with the stones, and then we used to collect tinder, very dry leaves sometimes, and put them in the circle. Sometimes we would use newspaper and make like a long piece of newspaper. We would tie in a sort of knot and put those in the middle of the circle. Then we would put the twigs on the fire and the smallest sticks over. We used to make like a pyramid. And we used to use matches to light the fire. We didn't used to use a magnifying glass because it takes too long. And we didn't used to use firelighters either because they're more expensive and they smell. They're smelly. They stink. And then little by little, we used to put the bigger sticks over the fire. And if they didn't start, we used to waft the fire. I loved doing that. And then we used to cook sausages over the fire. We did used to use fire lighters on the barbecue to light the coals at home, and we still use fire lighters today on the barbecue at home, and I still like eating sausage sandwiches today. When my daughter was younger, we used to go to a forest near here. We used to go to the forest to make a fire, but we used to make the fire in a fire pit. We didn't used to make it directly on the ground, especially in the summer, because it's too dangerous and we didn't want to set the forest on fire. And we used to take sausages and a special grid, and we used to put the sausages in the grid, between the two grids, and then we used to close the grid, and we used to cook the sausages over the fire pit. And then for dessert we used to cook bananas in the fire. We used to take banana, make a slit in the banana with a knife, put pieces of chocolate in the banana and wrap the banana in aluminium foil. We still sometimes cook bananas on the barbecue today, either in the ashes, in the hot embers, or on the barbecue grid. Then the aluminium foil is not so black. The Girl Guides in England, and we used to love cooking on fires. For breakfast we used to make porridge with oats and milk for breakfast, or sometimes we used to make eggy bread. We used to put an egg in a bowl and we used to whisk it with a fork. And then we used to add some milk, and sometimes we used to add a little sugar and whisk it together again. And then we used to put oil in a pan. We didn't used to use butter. And when the oil was nice and shiny, we used to dip the bread, because it was eggy bread, in the egg and milk mixture, and we used to fry it in the pan. We used to wait until it was golden brown, and that was a very good breakfast. My daughter sometimes makes eggy bread for a snack today, and she says it's better if you have a lot, plenty of the eggy mixture on the bread, if you soak the bread in the mixture.
Oh, really?
I used to help with the American Scouts here in France too. And to start a fire, we used to take the fluff out of the tumble dryer and put it in an egg box and take the egg box with us, and then we used to start the fire by lighting the fluff in the egg box, and that worked very well. It almost made fireworks. We didn't used to use fire lighters because they're not natural. With the American Girl Scouts overseas, we used to go on a big camping weekend in Paris. We used to go camping and we used to make big fires. And we used to sit round the fires and sing. And we didn't used to make porridge in the fire or on the fire. We used to make s'mores. S'mores are a very popular dessert with the Scouts in America, and it means I want some more. So the scouts used to bring graham crackers from America, and we used to melt marshmallows in the fire or over the fire on a fork, on a barbecue fork, or on a little stick, a little green stick, so it didn't burn in the fire. And then we used to make a sandwich. We used to put the marshmallows between 2 graham crackers with some chocolate. My daughter still likes making s'mores, and next week I'm going to show you how to make homemade graham crackers. But s'mores are a little sweet and sickly. In America, you can even get s'mores pies. A lot more memories of fire. For example, we used to make fires on a special celebration, a special festival in England called Bonfire Night in November, and we used to have fireworks in the garden too. And I remember when we used to go on holiday in Ireland, we used to make a fire in the fireplace in the house, but we didn't used to use wooden logs like a lot of people do here in France. We used to use peat because there are a lot of peat bogs in Ireland. And I remember I used to sit by the fire in the evening. I didn't used to watch TV. I used to read a book by the fire. It used to be really relaxing. Anyway, I would love to hear stories, happy stories of things you used to do, especially with fire. So don't forget to come back next week for the graham crackers recipe. And if you want to watch a story about fire, you could watch the story of the Scottish guy who saved a young lady from a sea monster with a piece of smoking peat. See you next time.